been inclined to visit Camelot. Werewolves don't seem to like me. Guard duty in Eagles Brook is very uncomfortable. Werewolf fur makes me itch. I saw a werewolf near a seacoast venue of the land, stopping to maul some folks out there in the rain. He was coming from a place near Eagles Brook. Gonna make a big dash, I don't like pain. Ow, werewolves can't run. Ow. If you end up fighting one in Glenumber Moors, you better not let him win. One of my guilds got bitten by one late last night. Werewolves of Camlorn again. Ow, werewolves Camlorn. Ow.
Holy crap.
GNT show is intended for mature.
What the hell?
GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Boliga, where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches. Our annual fundraiser marathon. Welcome to 24 Hours of GNT 2016. Hour 13, no rest for the wicked.
Thank you, Katie. Welcome back to the Nanbako Theater here in South Branson. And remember, Happy Baz is Stabby Baz. How many stabs does a Happy Baz have?
I don't know. How many? Stabby Baz is Baz does a Stabby
Happy Baz
Baz
is a Stabby Baz. He's a Spazzy Baz. How many stabs does a Spazzy Baz have?
I don't know.
Well,
but I do know that we have some really cool guests
at
Mikey.
Well, first we have a tote, right?
We do have a tote. I think. We think.
He's getting better.
He is getting better.
Oh, look at that. There's fireworks going around it now. Beautiful.
Our current total is $1,027.
Very nice.
Yay! The prizes from last hour gets rolled over into this hour, and I'll go ahead and add to it a couple Star Trek Online ships. The Crenum... We'll go with the Crenium Imperium warship, Tier 6 lockbox, and the Vaadwaur Azteca heavy cruiser, battle cruiser, from the Lobi store.
That's a very, very cool. From Star Trek Online, those are ships that you actually have to either win or buy. So,
and I'd like to give a special thanks to Our Lady Perpetual Pain High School Marching Band for the fanfare.
Lady of Perpetual Pain. We have some amazing guests in our room today.
Yes.
Right now. I'm so excited.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. So we'd like to welcome our good friends from the O Sports Show.
Oh.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Listen to how kicked back he is.
We're on hour 13. We're starting to feel the pain.
Did you hear that? Is it? How you guys
I was about to
doing?
say, you guys are 13 hours in. It's got to be a little bit tired.
Well, he's over there. How you guys doing? Smoking a blunt.
No,
What's
not
going
at all.
on? What's going on?
We get it going on.
Yeah, you guys are 13
Nice
hours
to finally
in. We're
meet you,
only
Scott.
5 minutes in, and it's already interesting. So
Scott, why don't you introduce everybody from the O Sports Show, and we'll kind of introduce you to the rest of the crazies in the room.
All two of us, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, it's only me. I'm Scott Ostrowski, and with me is Jeremy Daniel. We're actually the ones who actually pretty much got the show started. I posted like a year ago that I wanted to get a show going, and he messages me back almost immediately and says, "Hey, when are we getting it going?" So, yeah, so we've pretty much been in it since the beginning and recruited a couple guys along the way. But yeah,
Awesome.
And you're part of the Busy Little Beaver family, which is awesome.
We're very excited to have you on board.
So for those that don't know, you're not just helping the G&T show, you're also helping the O Sports Show, Blood of the Neary, Gates of Stovacor, Semantic Shenanigans, all of them. We've actually got something happening here. We've got something happening, people. Oh boy, I'm getting
This
tired.
is important, folks.
When the pitch man starts showing up.
Oh God, when he starts talking about Buck Buckeye
So,
rookie cards.
When you
Nick,
guys,
take a
you
shot.
guys do a sports show.
Oh, Nick,
What?
take a shot.
Nick, take a
Take a
shot.
shot.
Let me ask a question after
Sure.
this, but go ahead and tell who just gave $50 or more.
This time it was Baz. So Baz's total
Baz,
is now
dude.
increased to $150. So he's not quite in the lead for the J.K. Woodward Trickify yourself art piece portrait, but he's gaining ground. So good luck, Baz. Thank you so much.
That
Thanks,
shot
Baz.
burned. That shot
Nick, you'll have to take another shot because I've got a drum roll to lead you in.
burned. No, we'll do it next time. So since you guys are our sports show on our network, let's discuss Buck Buckey's career, shall we?
Oh God.
And
From
these
the
poor
London
gentlemen
Monarchs.
are like, who the fuck is Buck Buckeye?
all right, go on.
Yeah, Buck Buckeye, the lead hitter for the London,
He's the all-time home run champion, and he played for the London Monarchs.
the London Monarchs. That's right. Before baseball, unfortunately, died a horrible death and was revived on Cestus 3. Sorry, the Star Trek just comes out.
It's okay.
Oh
I don't know what that
What
was.
that?
I don't know.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm
No,
hearing
it's
noises.
actually we get to talk sports, and I'm so excited
Well-
that we get to talk sports. Yes, Mikey.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're-
we should also mention our other guest this hour is none other than
Shut up.
Mr. Vic Mignogna
No.
from Star Trek Continues. Hello, Vic. Are you here?
I am here, but
Oh.
I don't know if I can stay.
Oh
I don't
my
know if I can,
God.
but I don't know if I'm allowed to stay here because I heard the disclaimer that said that it was for mature audiences only.
Good point. It's a good point.
We are.
I think my mom might get mad.
Well, first, Vic, let me congratulate. First, I haven't talked to you since Vegas, and it's always great to see
Congratulations.
you and Michelle, and congratulations.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you so
Yes.
much, you guys. Thank you.
We're
We're
very
so
happy to
excited.
have you as well. So thank
Well,
you.
I am honored to be here, and God bless you guys for what you're doing, and I wish you the very best with it.
And
I'm a big
Wyatt,
fan.
Wyatt represented you guys very well on our G&T match game.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, good.
He was in the fanny flag seat.
The perfect place for our little Chekhov.
Vic,
Well,
I
I do have to
sorry,
say
go ahead.
though, Mike, Nick, Terry, I don't know which of you knew this was happening, but I'm kind of ashamed of you for not telling me because this was actually my first time meeting Vic in any sort of capacity. Period.
Yeah, same here.
Aw.
Well, same
Same
here.
here.
Well,
Same
same for pretty much everybody else in the room. To be honest with you, Vic, we also have Scott and God, who else?
Sunset
do
All.
we- Sunset All
You know
and
what? He's not
Janet.
going to remember everybody.
I know
Well,
everybody
you
from.
guys, listen. It is a pure pleasure to meet all of you.
It's so
I
cool.
love G&T. I love you guys, and it's always a joy to get to speak to any of you. So thanks
It's
for
the funny
having me.
thing, and Vic, the fun. I'm sorry. I have to just say this for 2 seconds. Vic, we've talked on Twitter, and I just want to say I'm a fanboy, and I'm going to say I love meeting you, George Silsby, Juice99A. Hi, how you doing?
Okay, Jude.
Vic, do you want us to have him escorted out?
I'm sorry.
But
And for those that don't know,
thank you,
okay,
Nick.
Yeah, this whole 24 Hours, sadly, was my idea. I was driving home from work one day, and nothing makes me laugh harder than my hatred of Jerry Lewis. And nothing is funnier to me than Jerry at 3 in the morning during the telethon. And I thought how funny it would be if we did that. And this is our second year doing it. And
Wow.
Vic, it's
Awesome.
really
Awesome.
great to have you with us. And
Awesome.
with the O Sports Show, you may have heard earlier, we have our Busy Little Beaver Productions. We have several podcasts that go out under our production banner, and they're a sports show that goes out under our banner.
I love it.
We
You
have
guys
Sports
are
Ball.
quite diversified.
We've been trying. We've been trying.
Yes.
Yeah, we do know that geeks come in many colors
Oh yes.
and many
Yes.
many interests. So we're kind of broadening our horizons, so to speak. But
Now, have I got the chance to meet any of you at who did I get to meet at Vegas?
you got to meet me, Terry Lynn, and
Hey,
Me,
Terry.
Nick.
Hey,
I'm
Nick.
Mike. I gave you a few pointers a couple years back to
Hey,
help.
Mike. I just want to tell you, Mike. You know what? Thank you. Thank
Vic,
you
we
for
also
that.
met at Shore Leave. I interviewed you and Chris Doohan
Oh
before
my
you
gosh.
guys, before you were, or when you were making your first episode.
That was literally, yeah. I think we even premiered our first vignette. I think at Shore
Mhm.
Leave that year.
Yeah, because you were there the same year that Musetta Vander was there.
Yes. Yes.
I may
Wow.
talk to you via email.
And it was no slight to you that I kept gravitating over to Musetta Vander's table. I hope you understand.
Oh
And-
no, I'm with you. I totally
and we do also get to congratulate you as well as Michelle, but for your wonderful work in Star Trek Online. It was great
Yes.
to
Oh,
hear
thank
you.
yes.
you. You know what?
Uh,
I have to tell you guys, after being a Star Trek fan since I was 10 years old,
Did your mom wake you up to watch it?
Oh, are you kidding? No. No.
I'm sorry,
No.
that was a cheap.
It really was, and I can't believe you went there. But,
Yeah, we'll just move on.
But no,
That's Nick for you.
No, actually, I drove my mother insane because I
Well, who
loved it.
didn't?
I loved it so much, and I ate, slept, and breathed it, and I just made her crazy with it. She used to call it Star Trash. Because, and I think she only did it just to get under my skin because she knew how much I'd be like, Mom, it's Star Trek.
Mom.
And,
That story you told with I watched a YouTube video where you told the audience at a convention about how your experience with William Shatner, how you didn't even tell him how you were involved with this Star Trek fan production, and you got to know him from a separate thing through
Yes.
your manager, right? And you,
Well, yeah,
you
yeah.
got
Bill
very,
and I, Bill and
you got
I
very
have
passionate.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Bill and I have probably done at least a dozen or more convention appearances at the same show. As a matter of fact, let's see, I'm in Winnipeg right now at C4, which is a Comic-Con up here, and Bill was here yesterday and today, and just this morning he was teasing me about my shirt. So I'm very privileged to get the chance to chat with him and call him a friend, but I never wanted to be that guy, who was always talking about my love of Star Trek. And so I purposefully don't talk about it whenever I'm around him. And when other people bring it up, I will certainly chime in and share, but I don't really initiate it. Just,
Now, Vic, you told a story 2 years ago at the premiere of the episode The Civil War. I can't think of the name of it. off the top.
Divided we stand.
Divided We
Yes.
Stand, which I have the coin in my hand.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, from donating.
I've got White Iris.
About
Thank you.
falling
Thank you.
falling asleep listening to episodes.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, dude. Long before there were video recorders, I would record every show every day when I watched Star Trek at 5 p.m. in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Channel 11 on a black and white 19-inch television. I would put my cassette player by the speaker of the television, and I would record the episodes on a cassette, and then I would slide the player under my pillow at night and go to sleep listening to the episodes. And I absorbed them. I memorized them like word for word, sound for sound, music cue. I knew them so well just from the sounds of them and the episodes, and just like learned all the dialogue and yeah. So I had a trumpet case that I had partitioned up into 3 partitions for the 3 seasons. And I think one of the greatest days of my life was when I realized that Radio Shack sold 120-minute cassettes with 60 minutes recording time on each side, and I knew I could put an episode on each side of one tape.
I remember
that was
those
the
days.
greatest day of my life.
Right on. We know and love you from your work on Star Trek Continues. However, you are an accomplished voice actor as well. You've done a lot of anime as well. Is that correct?
Oh my God, yeah!
Yeah.
I've done over 300 different
Oh,
animated
wow.
series, and video games. I've been a voice actor for about 18 years, and done a lot of really great shows. Been a part of really great shows like Full Metal Alchemist and Dragon Ball Z and Digimon and Pokemon and Bleach, and Naruto, and a lot of different shows that I've been really privileged to be a part of.
I'm quite a fan of one of your most recent efforts with Rooster Teeth, their series Ruby.
Oh, Ruby, yes. Oh my gosh, just last
Uncle Crow
week
is a favorite.
I was just recording season 4 last week at my house in LA. I was recording Uncle Crow for
That's awesome.
Uncle Crow, yeah.
What is the secret to
I'm getting all
being
squee.
a good voiceover actor?
Just give away all your trade
I
secrets.
wouldn't know
then.
what the secret
Just
is
the
to why
one
his
secret.
Courtesy
I've heard
does
at different
50.
conventions, different people say different things.
I'd say the secret is a lot of alcohol.
Well, then I should be all set.
The more you drink, the better.
Oh no.
But
So great.
no, honestly, I think the key, I think probably the singular biggest key in being a good voice actor is just acting background. A lot of people are really good at imitating animated characters or making funny voices, but most of the voice actors I know that do a lot of work or have been working a long time in the industry have a great deal of background as actors. Stage actors, theater, on camera. They've been studying and developing their acting craft for a long time, and voice acting just became kind of an extension of their acting career. So I would say the key to good voice acting is being a good actor in general.
I think
Back
that
in July, I did an interview with Steve Weiss for Broken Spirits, and I believe he had a role in that as well.
I did,
Yeah. He was very. He called you out specifically as being one of the better actors in the troupe, and that he learned a lot from you.
Oh wow, how kind. Well, Steven's a really, really good guy. I actually met him through the anime world. I think he was a fan, and we and I became friends through the anime industry. And when he asked me to be a part of what he was doing, I was happy to do it, and it was a lot of fun to work on.
one of the things I was going to pick up on at the end of the last question that you were answering was, I don't think that many people really do understand that while you're doing a voice for a character, how much you really do have to feel the emotion or get that emotion through the voice of the character, because let's face it, you can't see the actor. It's
Right.
being portrayed by an animated character.
Right.
How do you prepare for a character, especially in anime, where the emotions can run so high? Not necessarily, American animation isn't necessarily as deep as anime is. So how do you prepare?
Well, no, and I appreciate you saying that. I think one of the big differences between American animation and Japanese anime is that a lot of American animation is usually comedy, in large part. It's meant to be fun or funny or satirical. And Japanese anime is known for a lot of heavy, dramatic themes, very powerful, deep stories. They're great storytellers. And I will tell you, it's tricky because a lot of times when you're dubbing an anime series, unless you've watched the show in Japanese, you often don't even know what to expect. So there's it's really not easy to prepare. There's really no way to prepare in advance. In fact, a lot of times you'll come into the studio and they'll hand you a script and they'll say, okay, we want you to do this guy. And they'll spend 30 seconds describing the guy and what he's like and what his role is in the show. And then they'll basically push record and say, go.
That brings up, sorry, go ahead.
No, and so there isn't a ton of time to prepare. It's not like a stage play where you get together with the other actors and you rehearse it for night after night after night, and then you perform it. It's very much done very quickly and without a lot of prep time.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure, man.
As somebody who produces audio series, Vic, does all voice acting professionally have to be done in a live studio, or is there remote work? Is that something that is possible to do in a professional environment?
Here's my answer. Who was it that said that they liked Ruby?
That would be Ross.
That was me.
Ross.
Well, it may interest you to know that Ruby is recorded in Austin, Texas, and I have never been to their studio. I've never spoken to them on the phone. They literally asked me if I'd like to be a part of the show over email, and I said yes. And so they send me scripts, and I go through the script and find all of Uncle Crow's lines, and I record them by myself at my studio in my home in LA. I don't hear any of the other actors. I don't see any animation. I literally just record the lines, and I'll do them 2 or 3 different ways to give them some options. And then I'll send them all of the lines, and they'll assemble it with the rest of the cast. So a partial answer to your question is no. You don't necessarily have to be, in studio right there. However, the flip side of that is a lot of directors want you to be.
Right.
They would really, really love to be able to look through the glass window from the control booth and see you in the booth on the other side of the glass and be able to, in real time, direct you and watch you perform and give you adjustments and do it that way. So because of that, a lot of voice actors don't get the opportunity to work remotely.
That is very helpful. Thank you very much for answering that question.
Just wanted to chime in real quick. We have a few hecklers in the chat room that says you should be going to bed.
James Kerwin and Ginger Holly are heckling you in the chat room. Vic.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Vic, thank you for sharing that bit about recording. You just made me fanboy all over the place.
You understand why I asked that question, right, Ross? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
A lot of us,
we do a
George,
lot
Ross,
of
and
recording
I-
ourselves for our own audio productions. So hearing that it's done in a professional manner as well as in an amateur way as we do so far is a huge bit of moral support for us.
Well, and you know what? And also, let me add this other little detail. It also depends on what you're recording. For instance, if you're recording perhaps an audiobook or the narration for a documentary or maybe a commercial, something like that, you can often be able to do remotely. But something like an anime series or an animated TV show or a video game, it's so interactive, and with every line, there's interaction and feedback from the director and maybe the producer who might be in the room as well. So it really depends on what the project is too, whether or not some projects are more open to and flexible when it comes to recording remotely.
Right. Like if they're dialing in, pretending it's a phone conversation versus something where you're supposed to be in the same room, right?
Right.
The quality of your mic. Am I right?
Exactly. That's true too. I mean, if you're recording remotely, that means that the recording studio has very little control over the mic you're using, the preamp you're using, the room that you're recording in, how soundproof is it? You know what I mean? There's so many variables, and if they don't have complete control of the sound environment, then there's
They
a
get
distinct
nervous.
possibility
Yeah.
that it's not going to match with all of the other actors that they did record in their studio with their control and their equipment. And
Makes total sense to me.
yeah. Then of course, if you're like in a room heckling people, I mean, you can get away with anything. Like if you're like a James Kerwin or a Ginger Holly.
Hi, James. I've talked to James before, so it's yeah.
All right, I have a question to ask you. My question is, out of all of the characters you've voiced, do you have a favorite one?
I would have to say Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist is probably my favorite. Not only is it a really, really great show, but I played the character longer than I've played pretty much any other character that I've done. I did more Full Metal than I did any other show, and I love the show so much. It's such a wonderful story and great characters, and I love Full Metal a lot. I used to be afraid to answer that question because usually whoever asks you that question in the back of their mind, they've got an answer they would love for you to say.
Yeah.
So like if some fan comes up to me at a convention dressed as Yuki from Vampire Night and asks me what my favorite character is, I'm thinking to myself, I bet she'd really love it if I said Zero. Or if somebody from Dragon Ball Z comes up and asks me who my favorite character is, I'm sure they'd love it if I said Broly. So for the longest time, I tried to be very diplomatic about that answer. But after we finished Brotherhood, I just felt like I had to kind of be honest with myself, and say, I think I'm going to have to go with Ed.
That's cool. That is very cool. I'm just so excited that you're here, and it's great to hear your voice again. And it's also just great to have you back. How are things now that we're can we talk a little bit about Star Trek Continues?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Let's please. My favorite subject.
Star Trek Continues. By the way, so happy with all of the episodes that have been released so far.
Oh, thank you.
Oh no, you know that we love it. You know that we support it very much, and just everything about it, the quality of the writing, the quality of the filming, the quality of the acting has always been spectacular.
Plus, you can see the love that you have for it.
Oh my gosh,
no
you
kidding,
guys
right?
have no
Plus,
idea.
they're actually produced.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah, well, that is something to actually take money and actually do with it what you say you're going to do. That's a novel idea. But
I see what you did there.
I would really like you to discuss. You guys got 501c3.
yes, we are the
You did, really?
we are the only production
Yep.
that is an officially government approved 501c3 nonprofit.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I tell you what, I don't know if you know about those, but they're not easy to get.
Yeah, the government doesn't just hand those out.
Oh yeah, you have to prove what you do and what its value is to people, and you have to provide all of your financials. You have to make everything public. You have to go through all sorts of paperwork, and even that doesn't mean you're going to be approved. So we were very, very honored and excited to get that, and all it means is that we're.
It means you were honorable.
Exactly. It means that not only are we honorable, but we have done exactly what we said we were going to do with every penny that we've ever raised. Nobody is paying themselves a salary. Nobody is making any kind of money or profit off of this show at all. It is purely for love and tribute to Star Trek.
Well, it certainly shows, and I know that I know that with all of the crazy that's been going on lately, we're not doing real big specifics in this show this time around, but with all of the big crazy that's been going on in the fan production world and the unofficial production world, it still stands out. And we do hope that things are able to be worked out in the future and that we'll continue to see some more stuff in the future.
I believe that you will.
Awesome.
And Vic, I just want to point out that in our chat room, you finally have some protection there. Lisa Hansel has shown up, so you're good to go.
Yay! Well,
Hi,
you know
Lisa.
what? Lisa will single-handedly crush James and Ginger. So
Lisa is one of my favorite people in the world. I could not wait for the convention when I got to see her this year.
I have
Yay.
I have a
ahead.
Star Trek
She'll
Continues fan.
single-handedly crush both of them. I didn't realize she was She-Hulk.
She can break.
You haven't
Just
met
Hulk
Lisa.
now.
She's
They
awesome.
dropped
that's
they dropped
because
the
you
she.
don't know her like the rest of us do.
I have a quick question before you go, Vic. You and Michelle. I have a quick question because it's not like we don't notice the tension building up on the episodes.
Easy.
No, I'm being good. Kirk and the counselor that she plays, will they or won't they?
You want my answer? You ready?
I'm ready.
Absolutely not.
Good.
Yay.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I think that's
Yeah.
good
No,
integrity.
You know what?
No,
I love
no,
that answer.
No.
No, the reason I love that
Absolutely
answer
not.
is because Kirk, the one thing that was always the not correct view of Kirk is he was always about what he does. If you watch every episode of TOS, it was not with a crew member. He had a what's that word? A protocol. You know what I'm saying? Like what he did was off the record, and it wasn't with the crew. He didn't fraternize. But I love the flirting. He flirted with everyone, right? But he didn't actually get confirmed to get with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what? I'd like to say something on this topic, if I may.
Yeah.
I never liked the perception of Captain Kirk as a womanizer. I always felt that it was somehow inconsistent with his character of being a moral leader of men and a hero and that kind of a guy and to be honest with you, that is why we wrote and produced episode 4, The White Iris.
Yes.
The whole purpose of that episode, that was my way of saying, hey, you know what? Captain Kirk doesn't just mindlessly, casually bang chicks everywhere he goes
At all.
and flies away with absolutely no feeling about it, whatever. He is lonely. He's very lonely in his position, and he's very desperate to find love. He wants to find someone, and so whenever he meets a woman that he is attracted to, he rushes in and wants to believe that maybe this could be the one. It never works out that way, and sometimes, as we've seen, has tragic circumstances like Miramani or Edith Keeler. And so I wanted to tell a story of Kirk really caring and giving a piece of his heart to these women that he has known and loved in the past.
I meant that question respectfully, just to set the record.
No. I know you did, but it just reminded me that I felt very strongly about that perception of Kirk, and I wanted to address it. So when we created the McKenna character from the very beginning, I had absolutely in my mind there is not going to be anything between them at all.
I like it.
I have a question for you. We've discussed it in a couple of different times earlier, including with James and Kipley. We haven't had a chance to talk to you on the show ever. We've talked to you at the conventions, but what did you think of Beyond?
Wow.
And be honest.
Yeah,
Okay.
Beyond is
Okay. First of all, as a movie, I mean, purely as a popcorn eating adventure movie, it was fine. But me, when you label something as Star Trek, it takes on a higher responsibility. And I feel like every one of the movies can literally, every one of them, the story can be boiled down to a maniac trying to take over the galaxy. I mean, it's you know what I mean? It's like the same basic story.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
It's one bad guy. It's a bad guy who wants to take over the galaxy. It's a bad guy who wants to, whatever. And I would love to see a little more depth, a little more substance, and I'm not their. This is important for me to say, you guys. I'm not their target audience.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know.
who
We're
I'm
not.
not who they're trying to reach. They know that because I love Star Trek, I'm going to go see that movie. Now, it
What
may not be my Star Trek, but they know I'm going to see it. Their goal is to reach as many people as possible, right? They want as many people to see that movie as possible. So their goal is selling tickets. And if you're going to have that goal, you have to craft a movie a certain way. And so they're not trying to reach classic TOS fans. That's not their target audience. So I don't blame them for the choices they make or the movies they make, and I'll support them. But my Star Trek is the original Kirk, Spock, Shatner, Nimoy, Kelly, Jimmy Doohan. That's my Star Trek, and I will always love Star Trek, and I will always support it. But for me, I enjoyed it, but not as classic Star Trek.
Understandable.
If somebody did a TNG fan show, and they wanted to have you guest star as Kirk in some kind of a holodeck role, or somebody that Kirk time travels to visit them, would you be open to the idea as portraying Kirk, or
Absolutely.
how do you?
Absolutely.
You would, okay.
Listen, every word that I have ever spoken as Captain Kirk has been a tribute to Bill Shatner and Star Trek.
And I love that story. Sorry,
That
go ahead.
is all I've ever wanted to do. My only desire has been to pay tribute and homage to the show that meant so much to me and inspired me so much when I was a little boy. So any chance to play that role and honor that character, I would love to do. And it has absolutely, Lisa and James and Ginger will all tell you, it has absolutely zero to do with money or profit. I have never taken a penny from it, and I have no intention or interest in doing so. Star Trek Continues is my love letter to Star Trek, and the privilege to play a character that I loved so much when I was a little boy, that I looked up to. My parents divorced when I was 9 years old, and that is right at the moment that I discovered Star Trek. And Captain Kirk was very much of a role model and a father figure to me, and all I've ever wanted to do is pay honor and tribute to that character. So that's a long answer to your question, but the short answer is yes. I would love to. I would be open to doing that anytime.
And you had mentioned that you will do this to honor the character, and it really shows. The way you portray him is honorable. It's respectful. It's just amazing. So
thank you for that. And you know what else? I want you guys to know too. When people ask me, have you ever do you ever think about doing more of the Shatner stereotype thing? And I said, absolutely not. In fact,
No, not at all.
In fact, James Kerwin and Lisa and Ginger will tell you that I literally instruct the people on set that if they see me doing too much of that, to let me know. Because I would never in a million years want anyone to think that I was satirizing or spoofing Kirk or Shatner in any way. I want to do nothing but pay tribute to them. So I take that role very seriously.
When we saw the first episode, one of the things we said was you were not mimicking him, but what you have down is the small mannerisms. It's not the halting speech or any of that.
Yeah.
But the way you stand or tilt your head or things like that, I think, which are way more subtle. And just so you know, Vic, the way you're talking about William Shatner, I know it probably makes you uncomfortable to say this, but you're doing that now for a lot of fan film creators. You're looked at that way.
Well, I would be honored and humbled if that were the case. Can I tell you something, you guys? Along those same lines. I've been in the anime world for 18 years now, and I've had the privilege to do a lot of shows that a lot of young people have grown up with. And these kids come to these conventions, and they come to my Q&A sessions, and they hear me talk about Bill Shatner and what Star Trek meant to me. And sometimes I get so moved by it that, I'll actually tear up, expressing to them.
That moved me. That moved me in one episode.
Expressing to them how much it meant to me when I was a little boy. And I'll tell you something, you guys. There have been many moments over the last year or two where fans have come up to my autograph table and they've said to me, they've leaned over close to me and they said, I know that you're going to appreciate what I'm about to say more than most. And I said, okay, what would you like to say? And they said, you are my... And it chokes me up.
We didn't hear it.
You broke up there.
I broke up?
Yeah, sorry about that. Could you repeat?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right at the moment.
What was the last part?
the
What was the
response.
last part you heard?
Yeah, it was the response.
I was at the edge of my seat, and I'm like, "Come on, Vic."
You are my, and it died.
So many fans come up to me and they say, "You are my William Shatner."
Wow.
And I get choked up. I get choked up, and I come around the table and hug them.
Oh my God, I'm already choked up.
Because I would never have believed, I would never have imagined when I started voice acting that I would ever get the chance to be a part of anything that would move or inspire or encourage people the way that I was moved and inspired and encouraged by Bill Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and Star Trek. So there's just, and Lisa and Ginger and James will all tell you, so much love goes into Star Trek Continues. And it is night and day. You guys, it is as far as the East is from the West, the difference between what we do and what other fan productions have done.
Hey, Vic.
Yeah.
You're my captain.
Oh, shit. But
Has there ever been anything?
It's just all for pure love and tribute.
We have a fan in the chat room, his Woody Valley. He came from Australia to STLV this year. It was his first time to get to come, and he's disappointed because he looked for you and Michelle and couldn't find you. He brought you guys a packet of Tim Tams.
Oh, somebody knows the way to my heart.
Too bad, Vic. Too bad, Vic. I ate them.
Yeah, we split
Yes,
them.
they were delicious.
Not only did you eat them, you even ate Mike's.
I did.
Yeah, she's
Vic, if you want to sue them, I can be available to judge your case.
She's a former. She is an actual retired lawyer, not just by training.
Yeah, I actually practiced.
Wow, impressive.
That well, because of certain things that have gone on, a new spin-off series that we have on our Busy Litter Peever Productions is Semantic Shenanigans, where the lawsuit and other tell him what your motto is, Janet.
It's where law, society, and scholarship and fandom collide. So it's basically where we live in a geek world, but we also live in the real world. So what happens when the two come into contact? It's not just copyright violations and when a cosplayer gets bothered, but it's also things like what does it mean when we're watching shows and how do they portray women? How do they portray people of color? How do we see ourselves in fandom?
Oh wow, I love it.
It's really fun.
I love it.
And I want to thank you because you had on your last episode my Empress, Mary Schwinski. She will forever be my Empress.
Yeah.
My Mirror Universe Empress. Hoshi ain't got shit on her.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
but Mike, you had something?
We love
Yes.
Mary and John. We
Yeah.
love them to death.
Yeah, we had John just on a few minutes ago. Actually, what, an hour or so ago?
Yeah, who
But,
knows at this point? A week ago.
I know everything is blurring together. But
Last year.
listening to your passion about you know how listening to your passion moved me, and I'm still very emotional. But I just wanted to share that because you are an inspiration.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for that.
And I'm blubbering it full now.
It's okay.
No, thank
Vic,
you.
can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Aaron Gray,
Yes.
when she recorded with you on that last episode, how did she feel about the topic about the women's, the first captain, as the women's captain? You know what I mean?
You know what? She loved the
Subject
story.
matter.
She loved the story. She was very much behind the story, and so when I told her the idea and asked her if she'd like to be a part of it, she quickly agreed, and it was really neat to bring her down to our studio and actually have her on set.
Aaron Gray was an inspiration for boys my age, a whole
Right?
different
Oh
way.
my
Definitely.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You guys, you need to bring the guy that played Hawk.
I'm so
Who is that?
Well, shut
You know
up,
who I'm
Juge.
talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Anybody who watched Buck Rogers, you know who I'm talking about.
I
he
know.
Oh my gosh, Hawk.
Yeah, that was season 2.
Yeah.
So, Steve, you have a question.
Yeah, so far you guys have been able to do an awful lot with your episodes, and especially given the sort of limited budgets you have, as it's sort of all fan funded. Is there anything that you've wanted to do in some of your episodes that you've just had to not do that you really wish you'd got into it?
You know what? Nothing comes to mind. And let me say this. I always affirmed in my mind that the stories that we told were going to be like worthy of Star Trek. I wanted to tell stories that moved people, that made people think, that addressed certain moral questions or ethical issues or social questions. And as soon as you set the bar that high, you'd be surprised how hard it is to find those kind of stories. We got, Lisa will tell you, because she is our social media master, and she fields so many questions and emails, and we have received hundreds of scripts and story ideas. And unfortunately, the vast majority of them can kind of be boiled down to, like Captain Kirk fights the Klingons. You know what I mean? Or it missing a real deeper theme. You know what I mean?
They're just sort of red versus blue rather
Right,
than having a meaning.
Being more of a fight or a battle. And, when I started looking for good stories, I realized that they were hard to find. And we've really worked very, very hard to try to find stories that we felt had a really solid, powerful theme, made a strong point. And by the way, we've got some ideas in the pipeline right now that I'm so excited about. And the goal is to finish the 5-year mission. The goal is to leave the characters where they were when the motion picture picked them up.
And the motion picture. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, by the time the motion picture came out several years later, Kirk had taken a desk job, and Spock had gone back to Vulcan to pursue the Kolinar, and McCoy had left the service completely, and we thought, wouldn't it be great to finish the 5-year mission and come up with some kind of a real plausible explanation and powerful story for how the characters got to where they were when the motion found them. And we've already written those stories, and the scripts are done. And based on our last crowdfunding effort early this year, the money has been given. And so, we are hopeful to get to finish what we started. And we're doing it as quickly as we can and as respectfully as we can. But that's our goal. And those kind of stories are hard to find. They're really hard to find.
Now, you'd mentioned that people are sending you scripts. Have there been anything that someone's actually sent you so far that you have actually used?
Let's see. The first episode was my story. The second episode was mine and Houston Huddleston's story. The third episode was my story with James Kerwin's script, writing, and direction. The fourth episode was mine and our AD at the time story. The fifth episode was my story. The sixth episode was a story by a dear friend of our production, Greg Dykstra. And the seventh episode was James Kerwin's story, wonderful story. And we've got some really neat surprises. The last few episodes are coming from outside.
Yeah, didn't you guys have like a contest or something?
No, we didn't have one.
I'm misremembering.
I don't think we did. Maybe we did, and I forgot.
Yeah, that's probably me misremembering. Sorry about that.
No worries. But our last few episodes, we've got some really, really great writers, and so I'm excited to James has done some great writing, and Greg Dykstra's story, and we've got a couple of other individuals that are responsible for some of our upcoming episodes that I'm very, very proud of.
And Vic, we have a question in the chat room, and I was very fortunate at the Great Allentown Comic Con to interview Gigi Edgley. How did you like working with her, and what was that like? I
love
awesome.
Gigi so much.
That's my favourite episode, actually, that one.
Oh my gosh. That's the one that, oh my gosh.
Come Not Between the Dragons,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, that's right. Gigi is an absolute gem. I met her just actually the way I met Aaron Gray and Colin Baker and Claire Kramer and Lou Ferrigno. I met them all because we were signing together at conventions, at Comic-Cons. And I met Gigi, became friends with her. We had done 2 or 3 conventions together. And then when this episode came up, I thought, oh my gosh, she would be so wonderful in this role. And here's the most amazing thing, you guys. When I told Gigi the story, I got so choked up, and she said, I would love to play this role. And I found out later that she has a bit of history herself. Man. And I mean, I'm not going to go into detail, and I don't really know all the details, but let me just say this: either her or someone close to her has some of the history that is touched on in that episode, and it really was very, what's the word, cathartic. I think it meant a lot to her to play the role and to bring such emotion and such pathos and empathy to the character. And we couldn't have known that when I asked her to play the role. But we have seen so many wonderful things happen just like that. So many wonderful coincidences like that.
Amazing. That's truly amazing. And it was the episode that kind of well, no, that's not true. All of the episodes that you do find a way to make me cry. Just saying.
Yeah, but you're a baby.
I'm a total baby, but there's nothing wrong with that, dude.
No, I didn't say there was. Now, Terry, since we have Vic here, I'm going to ask him the questions.
You have to. Vic, we do our own set of what we call the Lipton questions. These are questions that we have, and we ask our guests, and we've never had the opportunity to kind of sling them at you. So we both apologize and take great pleasure in now forcing you to answer these.
Now, I'm going to ask the first one. I think we already know the answer, but I'll ask it anyway. What is your favorite Trek series?
US.
Yeah. If you could be any species in Trek other than human, what species would you be?
Oh. I would like to be the people who made the shore leaf planet.
Right on.
Because hey, they know how to. Those guys know how to party,
Yeah.
and they can. And they're obviously good at building stuff.
Boy, Gigi would make a great Andorian. Sorry.
Don't tell her that.
Squirrel.
Don't tell her that. She'll make us write an episode where she's an Andorian princess or something.
If you were given an opportunity to write an open-ended series based on one character in Star Trek, who would it be?
One open-ended.
I know they're not easy questions.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is definitely not a lightning round.
We had that earlier.
While you think about that, I'm gonna pick up on what James put in the chat room, and that was for those in Los Angeles. Gigi Edgley, the episode 6 director Julian Higgins, and Larry Nemechek are presenting that episode that we were discussing. Come Not Between the Dragons, I believe, at
Yes.
Stan Lee's Los Angeles Comic Con or Kamikaze at 11:30 a.m.
Oh my gosh, y'all go. Y'all get up. Y'all get up and go. That's right. That's awesome. Thank you, James. Thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot about that. Wow. I'm trying to think of what character I really thought was so interesting that you didn't learn a lot about. You know what I mean? That you didn't know a lot about that would make a great kind of a spin-off. You know, a lot of people like to talk about the Gary Seven character from Assignment Earth and how there was supposed to be some kind of a take on that.
Yeah, that was a backdoor pilot.
Yeah, I never really thought that was. Yeah, I just never really got into that much. I never thought that was really that. Oh my gosh, I have it. I would love a spin-off series on what was the chick's name that was the high priestess of the world of Yonada?
Oh,
was
the
it
asteroid?
Losira? Natira.
Natira.
Natira and the world and the people of the Yonada, they should have a spin-off series.
Nice.
Okay.
How interesting.
That's the most unique answer we've ever
Yeah.
gotten.
Yay!
Now, accepting the USS Enterprise, what is the name of your starship? The USS...
Uh-oh. The Alchemist.
Nice.
Okay. I like it.
The Alchemist.
I like it.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite adjective? Do you overuse it? And is there an adjective you loathe?
Well, I think I use the word awesome a lot. But I think that's because I'm surrounded by a lot of awesome people. You know? James is awesome. Lisa's awesome. Ginger's awesome. Matt Busey's awesome. You know, Gigi's awesome. Everybody's awesome in our group. The people that do our effects stuff, the people that work on every element of our production. And when I see somebody comes up to a convention and comes to my autograph table and brings me a piece of artwork that they've drawn, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I think I use that word too much.
But you know what it means, and the meaning doesn't change.
Yeah.
That
I
is
can
true.
understand. I can
That
understand
is true.
that.
But true. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. And did you say there's one that I loathe? Is there one that I loathe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing really comes to mind. Let me think. No. Nothing comes to mind.
Okay.
I don't really loathe any. How about you? Do you loathe any? What do you loathe?
No.
Moist.
Moist.
Moist is one of those words that sounds like what it is. You know what I mean? It's like it conjures up this.
Obey.
Moist
Yeah.
and lube.
Lube.
Sounds exactly
Obey.
like what it is.
Oh my gosh.
If you could choose anyone from throughout Star Trek, who would be on your bridge crew?
James Kerwin. And Ginger would have to make our uniforms, and Lisa would have to be our Vulcan first officer.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, she's
By the way,
great.
Lisa, I love your answer of Finnegan for the open-ended series.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh,
Finnegan would be a good one.
woo-hoo, Jimmy boy.
And somebody said Mud. Bud Mulder said Mud.
Yeah, I liked Mud okay. I liked him in I Mud. Mud's Women, I wasn't the biggest fan, but loved I Mud. I think that precedes the iPod. Yeah. Let's see.
Bridge Crew.
Bridge Crew. You know what? I'm really fortunate to already have a bridge crew.
Yeah, you do.
I have to say, Grant is awesome. There I go again. Chris Doohan, I mean, come on. Todd
Seriously, right?
is great. Yeah, and Wyatt is a sharp kid, and Kim Stinger is great. I mean, I already have a great bridge crew. But if I could choose some other people from Star Trek, I would like to bring in, let's see, Michael Dorn, because Michael's a great guy. I love him to death. And Marina Sirtis, because I love her to death. Carrie Farrell, because I love her. Bob Picardo. Definitely those guys. Definitely. And from the original series, I would make Mike Forrest come in and be on my bridge crew. I would make him wear his Apollo gold tunic, but I would ask him to be on my.
That's awesome. Very cool.
If you could create a holodeck program, what would you create?
Keeping in mind your mother may be listening.
Let's see.
And while you think about that, I just want to say that I would have Liz Wagner on my crew any day. I'm just saying.
Okay. 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 Let's see. Wow. You know what? Wow.
He's being so diplomatic.
I am Camelot.
Oh,
very cool.
I did that show in college. I did the musical, and I loved it so much. And after it was over, I read books on Arthur and the whole Arthurian legend, and always loved that period. And yeah, that's my answer.
Very cool.
And the final question, and this is the one.
This is the biggie.
Uh-oh. Like the others were small.
Well, CBS has approached you. CBS Paramount.
Yes.
You're given the green light to write a script. And even if they've already been killed in something else, you're green lighted to kill a major Star Trek canon character. Who do you pick and why? And it sticks.
Yeah, the death sticks. In other words, if you choose this character, the character dies forever. No magic reincarnation.
No sci-fi reboot.
no sci-fi reboot.
We've had some seriously cool answers on this one, except for Christine Thompson.
Wow.
I'm going to say. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Q.
Who?
Q?
That's our first Q.
Wow.
Q.
Okay.
Q must die.
That would actually be pretty
That's
interesting.
a good one.
I mean,
Yeah,
especially given the fact that he's supposed to be like immortal in this,
Right.
And so how cool would it be if he actually something was able to kill him?
That would rock the continuum, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't be the first Q to die, but for that Q to die, well, wow.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Wait! I had to jump down here and ask. I have to jump. If you're going to kill Q, if you're gonna kill
Spit it
Q,
out, girl.
Go ahead.
Which Q?
Delancey.
John Delancey's Q. Is there another Q?
There were a
They're
few.
all Q.
Well, Corbin Burnson was a Q.
Well, Corbin Burnson, Lady Q, and Susie Plaxton, Lady Q.
Susie Plaxton.
Quinn was a Q from Voyager.
Lowercase Q.
Susie Plaxton.
Yeah,
So-
little Q.
Olivia Dabo.
Olivia Dabo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all the Q or just a Q? And if a Q,
Oh,
which Q?
That's a good point. All the
Kill
Q?
all the Q?
No.
Just the one. Okay.
Just John Delancey's Q.
All right. Okay.
Right on.
Now, there you go.
And Lisa says he only knows TOS, #purist.
If he only knows TOS, how does he know the Q?
It's good.
Well,
He's good.
John Delancey's a good friend, and
You want to kill his character?
Oh, I have to
Yeah.
tell Vic real quick then my Delancey story from the convention this year.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So, because of the surgeries I've had, I have some issues that I have to deal with. So I'm
Jesus
trying to be really
Christ.
nice about this. So at the convention, it hits quickly, so I have to run down to the men's room. And I get in there, and it's between panels, so every stall is taken. There's one person at a urinal, but I can't use the urinal because of my issues. I'm just standing there, and I'm in my scant. I need to point this out. I'm in my scant.
In your what?
My scant.
Scant.
Okay, go ahead.
The person at the
Next
urinal.
Generation Scant.
The person
Yes.
at the urinal leaves the urinal and goes in there washing their hands, and I'm not paying any attention because I'm intently staring, waiting for one of those doors to open so I can run.
Right.
I look over because the hand dryer starts, and it's John Delancey, and he's looking at me, and I don't know what to say because I don't want him to think I'm just standing there. And I look at him and I go, "Hi," and he gets this quizzical look. He goes, "Hi." I go, "How you doing?" He goes, "Doing good. How about you?"
Oh my
I said,
god.
"I'm doing good." He goes, "All right, enjoy." And he walks out.
Gosh.
And I'm like,
You're frightening.
Q just think I trolled him in the men's room.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you kind of did. It's just not intentional.
Not on purpose.
I was going to say an unintentional troll in the bathroom.
Oh my
We're waiting for
gosh.
the restraining order to be coming in on that one.
Well, wait a
Any
minute.
day
I
now.
think I have a picture I can put in the chat room.
Well, you do that. In the meantime, I have to ask Vic a couple of questions because I know that we want to make him comfy. But what can we expect coming up for Star Trek Continues, if you are allowed to say?
Well,
He's not saying.
no, I'm measuring my response.
There you go.
There I am with Jera. I'm in the chat room. I'll find. I'll
that's
get
cute.
Let me just say that without I'm not speaking in an official capacity. I'm not speaking like, oh, I'm good friends with CBS and they told me to tell you this.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I am hopeful. The word that I'm using, that I've used and I continue to use, is optimistic.
Okay.
I am optimistic that we will finish what we started.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. Number one, CBS has never been bad to fan films. For over a decade, CBS has allowed fan productions to exist peacefully under the clear, understanding that they're not allowed to profit personally.
Right.
And everything was fine.
Yeah.
Until one person came along and decided that he was going to use Star Trek to try to fill his pockets, and so CBS had to step in and protect their property, and I completely understand that, and I respect them for it. But CBS doesn't have any great wishes to hurt fans and to destroy fan films. They just have to protect their property. So
Yeah.
it wasn't Star Trek Continues that was the problem. And I don't believe they have any ill will towards us. Number one. Number two, we've already raised the money to do what we've planned to do.
Great.
The money's been given, and so we have a moral obligation to do with it what we said we would. And I feel a very strong, obligation to do that. Another thing is that, as you mentioned earlier, we're an official nonprofit charitable organization.
Right.
So, I mean, I think one might be inclined to allow an official nonprofit production finish what they've already been given the donations to do.
Yeah.
And then finally, we always had an end goal in mind. We never intended to just do Star Trek Continues, on and on and on until we just all got too old or got bored or whatever. So everybody knows that it has always been our intention to make one more season and finish the 5-year mission. That is what we had planned on doing before there was a lawsuit. Before any of this happened,
Right.
it was my intention to just make one more TV season. And so so everybody involved knows that we are going to be winding it up quickly anyway, and that we've already been funded to wind it up.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic that we'll be able to do so.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. I don't think it's a big surprise for many of us who've been following you or anybody else involved with the project. But it is nice for you, and nice for us to hear, and for our listeners to hear as well. We do wish you the very, very best of luck with everything that's coming up in the future. Outside of Star Trek, do you have any other projects that are coming up that you would like us to know about?
Well, thank you even for asking. I was very very excited to be a part of Star Trek Online. I'm working on probably 6 or 7 different anime series right now.
Cool.
They're ongoing series, and I'm working on those. I do a lot of convention appearances. I've got a lot of appearances lined up. People can go to my fan club website. It's www.risembool.rangers.com. That's RISEMBOOL. Risembool. That's the little town that Ed and Al came from in
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist. Risembool Rangers, and my convention schedule is there. They can see where I'm going to be, and if I'm nearby, I hope some of your listeners will come out and say hello. And I also I've been wanting to do another album. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been writing and singing and producing music professionally for twice as long as I've been voice acting. And I do a lot of professional music work, and I've got 6 different albums of my own original material on iTunes. And I'd like to do another. I'd like to really do another record. I'd like to do another album.
Very cool. What kind of music? All sorts? All different genres, or?
It's kind of a wide variety, but
Cool.
I would say adult contemporary, soft rock.
Okay.
Soft rock, pop, adult contemporary kind of stuff. Billy Joel, Elton John, Journey, that kind of stuff.
So since they're nominated, you think Journey's going to make it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year?
Oh, they sure should, shouldn't they?
You don't want to ask me about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because The Cure still has. I think they've only been nominated once, and yeah.
He gets bitter.
All I know is, with as many kick-ass songs as Journey has produced over the years that people love, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they should be.
There is a certain snobbishness to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Please, I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put a very wrong meme into
I
the
was
chat
gonna
room
say,
now.
talking a whole different topic of conversation. Oh my god.
But I play the piano, so a lot my composition is piano based, but
Cool.
But it's I mean, you can hear a lot of my music online. There's a lot of it online.
Very cool. That's really
Vic, we
wonderful.
cannot possibly thank you enough for joining us.
Oh,
Yes.
my pleasure, you guys.
Seriously,
been
it's
wonderful.
been a
Agreed.
blast.
It's been my pleasure, and I wish you guys the best with this
Thank you.
exciting expedition.
Expedition.
And I'll definitely hope those of you that I've gotten to meet before, I'll look forward to seeing you again. And those of you that I haven't yet, I hope I'll get to meet you in person soon.
But Vic,
Awesome.
virtually,
Exciting.
I love you.
I love you.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Vic Mignogna.
I love you guys.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
Thank
great
you.
one.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Take
everything.
care.
Thank
Thanks, guys.
you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Oh,
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right. I am beyond myself. I'm just like
Jeremy and Scott, we're sorry.
You
We've
have
been-
no
We've been
idea.
trying
Thank
for
you.
years to get them on.
No, you guys are good.
No, seriously. I was just like, oh my god, it was Vic. It's Vic. So
I got to talk to Uncle Crow.
So
I
Um,
apologize if I kept chiming in, guys.
no,
let's just
we'll
take
kick
a
your ass
real
later,
quick,
Chooch.
All right.
Let's take a real quick reset so that
Yeah.
we
Because
can,
we do
Yeah,
have another
we need to.
guest
Yeah.
that we need to.
Eagles.
Yes, Mike.
Yeah, we have our guests waiting, so yeah.
And I still want to talk to Scott and those guys
I know.
about the O Sports
Maybe they
show.
can. You know what? Maybe if they can stick around after JK, we can continue the Star Trek Trivial Pursuit, and they can take the.
But Scott has baby.
What?
I don't
What?
want to keep him up late. Scott has baby.
No, it's fine.
Are you good, Scott? I mean,
No,
I don't
I'm
want to
good.
make you
I'm
stick
good.
in the room if you got to go. But
Oh,
I
no,
want to
I'm
make.
good.
Okay,
And they
all
can
right.
take the John Jackson Miller piece, and we can interview them about their show while we play the game.
There we go. That's a good idea, actually, because we know that. Oh, goodbye, son. We love you.
Good night,
Oh,
son.
good night, son.
Good night,
Then
guys. This is
you know
like
what?
been
Why
the
don't we do
longest
that?
I've been awake in months.
I know. All right. We are going to take a tech break because we do want to make sure that our recording stays sane. So we're going to take a quick technology break. We'll do a real quick recap. I don't know if we received any donations over the past hour. So if not, those prizes will carry over to the next. And we'll catch up with you in a few minutes.
Music for the GNT show is provided by
Is everything we say right now
Viper
heard?
Mission, Enterprise Blues Band,
Okay.
Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Greth Thor. The GNT show is a BLB production.